Hello everyone and welcome to the official SWGT YouTube channel. My name is Sarusa. Today we're going to talk about 3MDC. What is it and how can it help my guild? Alright, so what is 3MDC? 3MDC stands for 3 Monster Defense Counter. It's available on Guild and Personal, and it has a suite of functions. You can search for defenses or a specific counter. You can rate counters for specific defenses. You can do custom tags on defenses and counters. If you picked up a new monster and you wanted to see some defenses and counters that are popular, you can track your likes and dislikes. You can view your trends and analytics, and you can also view real battle logs. So there are two different types of 3MDC. There is a maintained list of defenses and counters, and there is a raw battle log for analytics. So you're probably asking to yourself, wait, there are two different versions of the same tool? Let's go into those details. So there's two types of 3MDC. There's maintained and there's raw battle logs. On the left side, we can see maintained. That's all done manually by you or your guild, and it's available for guild sites and for personal. And for guild sites, your members are going to be contributing the defenses and counters. Based on battles that you guys see, you guys can go through and add those as you see fit. You can add strategies for specific counters. So let's say you had a Kamoon Bastet Odin and you wanted to take a specific counter into that. When you are entering all this information, you can enter in the strategy. Who do you target first? What are the runes you are going to see, usually on these? What is the turn order? Stuff like that. In this side, you can go through and rate these different counters. So that way things that are better or things that people like more will float more to the top. You can also mark them as favorites. So that way, if you are logged in and you're searching for a defense, the counters that you have picked are going to be up at the top, and then the other ones are going to be down below at the bottom. You can add custom tags. This is useful for, if you are looking for certain defenses and metas, or if you wanted to, tag, your speed leads versus your tankier defenses or comps, stuff like that. Once you get a list of counters built up, you can do grid views, and then you can post those in Discord for yourself. And this is popular in a lot of guilds. So if guilds are seeing, and this is seen a lot in Siege, you'll see a lot of the same defenses. And so a lot of guild leaders will actually build up a lot of counters, and they'll run a guild view and they'll post those in Discord so that way they are readily available for players. So that way you don't have to actually search for things. So again, it's just things that I've seen and just sharing. As well as you can actually automatically import defenses and counters from your raw battle logs, which we'll talk about now. So on the raw battle log side, this data actually comes from your Siege, your World Guild Battle, and your Siege tests. And as Come2Us adds more guild content, we'll definitely add more stuff into the platform. But this tool is really designed to really search for, up to the last 1,000 battle logs and give you really powerful analytics and summaries and details. It actually lets you add notes in for each attack, and I'll show you that stuff later. But you can search for specific opponents that you're going up against. You can search for 1, 2, or 3 monsters on the defense and or the counter side. You can search for specific areas like World Guild Battle, Siege, or Tests. You can search for specific battle ranks. You can search for only wins, and or losses, and then you can search for specific players. So really powerful tools, and best of yet, you can actually save your search criteria and you can share it to anybody in the guild. So again, guild leaders, and this is most helpful for guilds, of course, but for guild leaders, they can actually go through and search for things that they're popularly seeing, and they can automatically tag those and put those up at the top. There's also a really powerful area for trending and recent battles in 3MDC battle log side. So let's take a look at the tools and let's get a tour and see what the differences are and see how we can use these tools. All right, just for this demo purpose, I am here on my guild site. I have a local version, so it's not current data. My data backup was from September 8th, so we have some gap between now and then. This video is being recorded on November 19th, which is during Siege Tournament, so wanted to make sure that I wasn't giving away anything top secret. So on the 3MDC side, if we go into the menu, you can see that there's a search, likes, dislikes, where to use, statistics. You have the pending approvals, maintenance, the monster nicknames, defense nicknames, and battle logs. So for the search is the exact same that's here on the homepage. There's going to be a number of different filters, and by a number, I mean there's a lot. So you can search for, let's say, a Kamoon, Bastet, and Odin, and you can search for either defense or counter. You can show the list or a grid, as I mentioned before. You can search public or private because I have it turned on in my site setup. The tags are currently turned off for defenses because I haven't added any. Counters, we do have all sorts of different tags here for the counters. We have available monster pools, so if you want to highlight or shade out your monsters, so that way you're not being shown stuff that you actually can't use or build, there's a filter for that. You can sort by ratings, you can sort by the date added, you can sort by the battle logs. So for the battle logs, it integrates seamlessly, so we can show some statistics as well. You can choose by battle rankings. You can search by the minimum number of battles. So let's say you wanted to say, show me all the ones I want to rate by battle logs in the past 180 days, and I only want to look at Siege, and I want Guardian 3, and I want there to be at least 10 battles. Then it'll show you the maintained list based off of the battle logs that have actually happened with at least 10 battle logs in there. And then you can show your favorites up at the top or unsorted. So if we do search, I have no idea what it's going to come up with. Yeah, so we have no approved counters for this with this crazy criteria that I have. So let me go through and tweak my criteria a little bit so that's not so strict. And then you'll see here that I have some of my favorites that I have picked. So here are the results. You can see that there are 669 counters right now, which obviously is a lot. That's why ranking is so important. Over here, you can click on things. You can rate things that they, work, not work, they inconsistently work, things like that. You can add tags if you have tags set up for your platform. You can add strategies. So if you wanted to say, okay, this is my counter that I have, and this strategy is going to be for a specific guild, and then I can say what my strategy is. So let's say my Viva Cho goes first, and then my Tessa goes second, because we want Tessa to actually go after Odin already uses his immunity, probably that he has. So we can definitely get him to not have his passive, and then Camille can go through and freeze, and so on and so forth. So you can add in all your sorts of notes there. As we scroll down, you can see here too that you can do likes and dislikes. So for the strategy themselves, you can go through and mark it as a like. Or if, let's say, this one doesn't work nicely, you can do a dislike on that one. And again, that'll change. If there's more than one strategies, as people go through and like and dislike in your guild, it'll actually make these numbers bigger and smaller as you would normally see on other websites. And before I forget, I want to show off the grid view of the same list. So instead of the list result, you can go into the grid result when we do a search. And so you'll see that the counters are now no longer in a list, they're in a grid view. And again, these are just really common in guilds that are spoon feeding their members in Discord. Instead of having to have them come here and search, they can spoon feed them in the channels. I've seen times where guilds are creating threads by defense, and then they will go through and paste all of their top counters. And their guild leaders will actually go through and manually sort all of the counters that they want the guild members to use. So again, that's just a function there. And so, that all ties into the statistics. We can look at the top search defense. Let's say I'm going to have to do all time here because in this case, my backup is for a long time ago. So here are the top search defenses. So this specific defense was searched 1,640 times for all of history. It was added by this person on April 1st. And there are currently 213 counters for this. There's all sorts of different statistics. I'm not going to bore you with all of them, but we have the top search defenses, top search counters for teams, recently added counters, so that way people can see what was added recently. There are top contributors, so we can see who in the guild is actually contributing. And then the analytics actually does have stuff built into the battle logs, which are the raw battle logs. So you can see things like trendings and win rates based on the overall defenses and counters. And then again, with the overall top contributors. And then we also have the top search where to use. So just stepping back to the top contributors on the 3MDC battle log side, this is very popular in really a lot of the top guilds. A lot of guilds are running in let's say the top 10. I'm going to say on most of the servers, I'm seeing that a lot of guilds are running, especially during tournament time. They're running thousands of tests per day just to build up that repository, make sure that their win rates are solid, go through and test and build out different counters to the overall defenses that they're seeing in the tournament. So really great tool, a lot of nice analytics and statistics. going to the where to use feature. This I'm probably going to rename to just monster search or something like that. But let's say you wanted to search for the latest monster that you just dropped. So let's just say I picked up a Dark Asura, which I just did as a matter of fact. So here's the monster. Here are the base stats. Here are the skills. Here are the overall skill effects and the skill ups that are available, as well as you can also tab back and forth in between these. And then you can come down here and see all of the defenses that have been seen so far. And then you can come through and see all of the counters as well. So it gives you a nice quick summary about this unit, what it currently is. Actually, if we look at Helena, for example, Helena, because she's a unit that has a transform built into her skill set, you'll see that the skills are actually over here. You'll see that there's the pony side and then there's the human side as well. So you can toggle between those two skill sets, and then what skills do they do and all the skill ups and stuff that go along with it. So that is the monster defense side. Pending approvals will just be anything that your guild members are submitting. If they're not authorized for 3MDC full access, it'll be basically set into the pending area. It'll not show up in the result set until it has been approved. Maintenance just shows you all of the defenses and all of the counters, but it'll be at a defense view. This takes a while because we have a lot of stuff on our site. So waiting for this thing to load. You can see this defense here. It was probably added by the auto system. And so if we go into here, you can see the actual defense, the units, and here you can put in strengths, weaknesses, attack sequence, and then notes about this defense. You can also pin it to the homepage if you want, and then you can add counters in here. You can see what this counter is. You can set the default rating, and then you can mark it as favorites, which again, it'll go in there as my favorites. You can go through and manually sort these if you so choose as well. You can bulk delete, or you can go into individual ones and then delete as well. You can add notes at the individual defense level for specific guilds. So let's say if a specific guild that you're going up against or that you have, or if you want to add in notes for yourself, those are there. And then tags are there are no tags for this one as well. But as you search for this defense in the search engine, you can go through and mark tags on there as well. And tags, again, are fully searchable. So, again, your speed comps, your bruiser comps, and stuff like that. If we go to the counter tab and we go into the counter itself, you can see here are the units again itself, and then you can go through and add in strategies. So here are my strategies, and then here are my overall guilds. You can mark it as approved, and then you can add tags at a strategy level as well. And then monster nicknames is just something that is actually platform-wide, so that way a lot of people have been adding in different counters for different languages, so that way it's easier to search for things. And then for defense nicknames, this is something that people have been maintaining throughout the platform. So I know that the KBO is a Kamunbista Odin. So when we go into the search engine, you can just type in KBO and press search. And you'll get the same defense as you did before. So they're just shortcuts. These are platform wide, so I do monitor them to make sure that people are not abusing them. And taking a look at my likes and dislikes. So these are all of the counters that I have gone through and hearted as I've gone through and searched all these. You can see when I actually added it, and then what the unit is. You can search up here, of course, same as always, and you can mark, and then you can unheart it too if you so choose. And before we switch gears over to the battle log side, let's take a look at tags. So under setup, if you're a super admin, you can go to tags, and you can come in here and you can build your own tag. So you can give it a name, name during demo. And then you can give these a color. It's got the whole full color swatch. You can pick whatever color that you want. It can be psychedelic if you so choose. You can change your font colors if you want it to be a certain color, or yellows or greens or blues or whites. You can make it solid. You can make it a double line. You can do a dash. You can do all sorts of different things. Outline is going to take these and flip it. So you're going to need it to change your font color to something else. And then you can give it a category of defenses or counters, and then you can give it a tooltip if somebody hovers over. So that's tags. As far as the creation goes, of course, you can go through and edit and delete those as super users. And then when you're searching and you're actually viewing the results, that's where you can see all your tags and you can go through and add them. All right, now switching gears over to 3MDC raw battle logs. This is actually one of my favorite sides. Now up at the top, you saw that box flicker and vanish. That's only because my data is really old. But normally when you're using your 3MDC regularly, the top box will show recent defenses that were countered via real battle logs. And I'll show some of the features here in just a hot minute. But in the raw battle logs, we can search for a lot of things. We can search for defenses or for counters, of course. We can choose date ranges, which can be within a specific siege season or within a custom date range. Or you can just leave it blank, and it'll show you the last X number of records, which is based on the one down here. We'll talk about that in a second. You can search for specific players in your guilds. You can search for specific guilds itself, or you can search for specific opponents. If you wanted to search for, let's say, the top one guild on your server, if you want to see some defenses or some counters that you've been struggling with, that's definitely one way to do it. For results, you can do wins or losses and draws only. For the battle types, you can do your guild war, which is the royal guild battle, siege, and siege test. For battle ranks, you can do your Guardian 1, 2, and 3. Of course, you can do any all. For results, I allow you up to 1,000 records. So we have a lot of guilds that have hundreds of thousands of records here. Again, I mentioned that some of the top guilds are going through and recording thousands of battle logs per day. So I definitely want to make sure that the search criteria and the servers are not bogged down. So again, if you're trending data, the last 1,000 battles is a pretty good subset. I really don't think that there's any need for more than 1,000 results to be summarized. And then you can search for specific defenses, and then you search for specific counters. So again, if we go back to the Commune and the Bastet and the Odin, I could say, so for this specific defense, I want to see where Tessa is being used with. And I'll show up to 1,000 records. And then I want it to be only for Guardian 3, and then I want it to only be real siege, not just siege tests. And then the battle result, I want it to be wins only. Come down here and press search. And here is where Tessa is in the counter. Tessa can be in any position. It doesn't have to be just leader. And SWGT will automatically summarize all of the details into a nice summary to show you all of the things that are being done with it, and as far as all of the win rates per counter. So this defense is obviously not very good. So this defense is obviously not very good at a G3 level anymore. It is 100% counterable. So the actual defense itself wins 0% of the time. And so the best counter that we have for Kobo right now is Tessa, Alucia, and Triana. And so we can click on the details, and we can see all the different wins, all of the different victories by player, up against which guild. We don't log the opponent; we just log the guild. And to make matters even better, you can actually go through and add in notes for that specific attack. So let's say this attack killed Odin first. Odin was on Swift, as was Bastet. We can save it, and now that will now have a log. And all these logs are searchable too. Under guild, under the notes on guild sites, you can actually go through and search all these battle logs as well. So just a nice little feature there. And then this specific search criteria, if you wanted to tweak it, so the search engine brought back some results. Let's say I wanted to tweak this, and let's say I also wanted to add, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I may want to add. Let's say I wanted to add a Triana in here. So I can go through and refine this search results. So now it has to have Tessa and Triana, and you can see all of the different turn order and everything else to go along with it. Let me close my tabs, and I want to show another option. So let's say I want to save this search result. So I want to go through and customize all my search results. If you choose dates, the saved search results will of course keep those dates. So typically if you're seeing, like let's say you're in Siege and you're seeing this defense an awful lot, and you want to make a shortcut for all of your guild members to see raw battle logs, things that are going on in your guild, don't enter in any dates. So you just choose custom, and then you enter in no dates. And then you enter in your defense, your units, all your other criteria, and you can save it. And so you can give it a title. If you don't give it a title, it'll actually default to the defense, and you can pin it to the dashboard as well. And then you can authorize which guilds are authorized to actually see the search criteria as well. So if you're running in a bigger site, for instance, in the 9 Bandit site that I am a part of the community, we have like 10 or 13 guilds that are available in the community. So I might want this note only, or rather, I want this search criteria to only be shown to, let's say, my guild, which is Sinfully Deep. And we can save it. And you can see that because I didn't add in a title, it just automatically defaults to the monsters that were used within the search criteria. And so you can run it, you can delete it, and you can load it. So you can load it, and then any player can go through and tweak it themselves. They can save it to their own profile as well. So let's say I didn't want to save that. Let's say I wanted to add in Triana in here, and I want to save this as my fancy search criteria. I'm not going to pin it to the dashboard, but I'm just going to save it. Now when we come here, we have my saved options, and we have the options that were saved to the top. So kind of a nice little feature that you can save and pin these. And then again, with battle logs integrate fully into the manual 3MDC, which I showed you before. And then statistics, you can go through and look at all your type defenses. Let's just say let's just do all time, because again, I have an old data set here. It'll be private because of course you can run these reports on public or private. Your battle type, I want to do siege. Let's say I want rank to be Guardian 3, and I do want to apply my battle pool. And then I want to look at all of the, in order to summarize the report, I want to see at least 20 battles per actual counter on this one. And so then there you go. So we have 100% win rate with this Eladriel, Diana, and Leo comp specifically for all time. And again, I'm not running it over a 7-day time period here. So nice little statistics and analytics. All right, now switching over to SWGT Personal, I just wanted to show off that the same features are available for Personals. Just a reminder that Personal is different than Guild. Guild is meant for community players to be contributing all of the 3MDC battle logs, versus on Personal, this is going to just be you. So when it comes to 3MDC on the personal side, this will be your maintained list of defenses, your maintained list of counters. You can go through and configure your automatically add. You can go through and add in all of your battle logs and everything else based on the data that you're pulling. Again, all of these are shareable by friends, and we're going to go through friends in a later date. But just real quick, you can come through and you can say, I want all my friends to see all of my likes and dislikes and my battle logs, and you can choose it by the player too. I'm not going to show the search results because my version here locally is up to date. But you'll have to just trust me that the battle logs search criteria is going to be all the same, very similar to how it is on the guild site. And then on the search criteria side, whenever I search for things, all those results are going to look and feel exactly the same way on personal as well. And that's it for today. I just wanted to say a thank you to all the Patreon members who subscribe to SWGT, and to all the people that constantly give feedback about the platform. It's only through your support and efforts that SWGT is what it is today. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. We all make SWGT better together. And with that, don't forget to smash those like buttons, and I'll see all of you on the battlefield.